My son and I were walking down the street recently, and in this particular neighborhood, usually the streets are clean, but we noticed that someone had left a fast food wrapper on the street or, a bag. And it stood out because there was no other trash anywhere. There wasn't any trash, no gum on the sidewalks, nothing like that. And so I was trying to explain to my son about this concept called the give a shit factor. And in this particular neighborhood where we were in, this particular neighborhood had a high give a shit factor. And what I mean by that is that you didn't see trash on the streets. The lawns were manicured. The landscaping was up to date. You didn't see cars parked out on the lawns. You see neighbors picking up after themselves. They had a very high give a shit factor. Contrast that with other neighborhoods that we've walked through where you do see trash on the street. Trash is very common on the streets in some neighborhoods, as well as, broken down cars, broken windows, unmanicured lawns, everything that comes with a neighborhood that has a very low give a shit factor. And so I'm explaining this to my son in that this doesn't only pertain to neighborhoods. It pertains just to your life in general. Do you give a shit or do you not? And do you have a high give a shit factor for yourself or do you not? Because there's a difference, and it's a visible difference. When you come across someone that has a high give a shit factor, you can look and see that. They're clean, they're put together, they're usually on time, they do things the right way. It's just obvious. And then you contrast that with someone with a low give a shit factor. They just it speaks volumes before you even say anything. They're dressed sloppy, sometimes they may be dirty, or sometimes they just don't give a shit about their grades, they're late. You guys have heard me talk about, that before. But these are all indicators of someone having a very low give a shit factor. So which one are you? Do you give a shit or do you not? Do you have a high give a shit factor or do you have a low give a shit factor? Because what you can't do is say, oh yeah, I care, I give a shit, but then live your life in a way that tells me you have a low give a shit factor. And the good news is, if you've lived life up to this point with a low give a shit factor, you can change this. You can start caring. You can start doing the things and paying attention to the details surrounding your life, whether that be with you personally or your surroundings or what it is you do, or if you're in school, your grades, if you are in your career, your job and your performance on the job and being on time and those kinds of things. These things are indicators that you actually give a shit and that you have a high give a shit factor. So there it is. High give a shit factor is always going to be better. Trust me, you're going to be around people and want to live in neighborhoods that have a high give a shit factor. That's just the way it goes.